No matter what direction the Cleveland Cavaliers intend on going in this offseason with members of their current core, one area that they need to address is floor spacing out of the front court, preferably a 4 or 5 who can shoot or what most would consider a stretch big. I like to think of these archetypes as the modern day big, which is honestly one of the toughest things to acquire in free agency or via trade because they rarely become available due to their high value. And without many enticing assets to move short of parting with a member of the established core, one potential avenue to a cost-controlled one is through the NBA draft. Armed with the 20th overall selection, Cleveland could walk away with a potential difference maker or at the very least a prospect with potential. With that being the case, one of the prospects that I feel may be available in that spot is none other than G League Ignite big man Tyler Smith. Offensively speaking, Smith has a lot to like as he offers a very valuable skill set. He indeed profiles as a versatile big man at the next level. However, with the Ignite, he often benefited from a very defined role that didn't require him to step outside of his comfort zone all that often. He is as solid as they come down in the post, using every bit of his 6'11 frame to his advantage. He isn't the most physical presence yet, but he has the height and touch necessary to overcome that as long as he's assertive enough. He can and will use his size to punish both switches and mismatches, and to this point, it wasn't uncommon to see him backing down his defenders and finish with his go-to move, a righty hook shot over the top, nearly impossible to stop at his size.
More advanced than that. But for so many players to be watched at the same time.
He has a lot of very cool experiences. He's played everywhere in the world.
He has the ability to play with his back to the basket, although he can struggle with absorbing contact. And as long as he continues to add some bulk to his frame, he should morph into a viable low post scorer at the next level. The Ignite big man is also fully capable of facing up and shooting over the top of the opposition, something that can help make up for or perhaps even offset any physical challenges he would face while trying to add weight. It's honestly something Cavs fans have been calling for resident big man Evan Mobley to do for a few seasons now. This is a highly encouraging aspect to his game because it shows that he knows how to leverage his size with his ability to shoot the ball. He doesn't need more than a dribble or two if any to get into a shot, and upon being switched upon, he can just turn and shoot over the top. Smith was given a ton of reps within the pick and roll, which we know is the Cavs' bread and butter. This has turned him into a capable rim roller who can finish off lob attempts, cut to the basket, execute DHOs, and dunk it home with authority at times.
How did that happen?
His impact defensively especially so notable. Oh, what a take and what a...
being in the way of them scoring.
Allen gets downhill. Oh, baby!
Measured at 6'9" without shoes, with a 7'1" wingspan, he has the height and length to be a real catch and finish threat at the rim.
I'm going to give you that one. I'm going to wear that one right there myself.
Here's Smith on the lob.
These are all excellent tools to have in the proverbial shed, but to me, the real draw is his ability as a shooter. Tyler Smith is a smooth lefty shot maker with a fast and repeatable form and release. He is very deliberate with his movement and has good footwork. This can be seen in the way in which he sets his feet.
Smith will launch from three.
He is already a big threat as a catch and shoot specialist on the perimeter, and as such, he has legitimate gravity as a floor spacer. Opposing defenders will have no choice but to keep an eye on him when he spots up to shoot, which is a great asset to have within the front court. Although he is comfortable spotting up from the corners, the bulk of his work came from above the break. 84 of his 107 total attempts came from this area this season, where he knocked down 31, good for 36.9%. Smith has also shown real pick and pop potential, and working alongside NBA caliber guards could really bring this out in full force at the next level. This is something the Cavaliers have been missing ever since Kevin Love left town. He is coming off of a season in which he shot 36.4% from three-point distance on roughly 4 attempts per game. He is more of an off-ball shooter at this point in time, which is perfectly fine considering he will be stepping into an off-ball role wherever he lands. The Ignite like to stick him in the corners quite often, and that opened the floor for the ball handlers. The Cavs are dying to add a big man capable of that. Elsewhere, Smith is a decent rebounder who should only get better at the next level, assuming he puts his head down and gets to work. Due to his role, he wasn't always in position to grab loose boards. He would finish the season averaging 5.1 per game. In regards to playmaking, he does show flashes at times. He is capable of passing out of the short roll, similar to what will be seen from Jarrett Allen. He isn't called upon to make plays for others though, and may never truly be. He is more effective as a connective piece of tissue rather than a primary creator, and finished the season averaging just 1.2 assists per game. He also turned the ball over just 1.2 times per contest. Honestly, it's kind of tough to grade his vision. TBD. Defensively, Tyler Smith is admittedly a work in progress. He has the body to become a multi-positional defender, and due to his leaping ability and a long wingspan, which is recently measured at 7'1" during the NBA Draft Combine, he is a capable defender of the rim. Smith was able to finish the 2023-24 season averaging 1 block per game. He had 28 blocks in 27 games. He has the quickness to potentially provide defensive switchability on the perimeter too. But as I stated to begin with, he is still very much a work in progress. I attribute many of his issues to a general lack of discipline at times. He is a good athlete, that much is clear. He moves well, mostly in terms of straight lines. He's shown flashes, but not necessarily much substance or production just yet. The G League Ignite as a unit were pretty terrible defensively. They finished the 2023-24 season ranked 29th in defensive rating at 117.4. So it's truly hard to get a grasp on how good or bad certain players were from an individual standpoint. The biggest area of growth is likely his pick and roll defense. He appears stuck in the mud and slow to react far too often. He allows drives and passes to specific pockets too frequently as well. Learning how to take away both would do wonders for him. At the G League level, he was never truly required to make high-level reads due to the level of competition he played against. He improved over the course of the season, however, but is still very much a work in progress on that end. He can hold his own when becoming the target of switches due to his quick feet and size. It doesn't necessarily change direction at a high level, but he can make use of his body and make himself a very difficult body to get around. Every prospect has weaknesses, or rather areas of potential growth. Tyler Smith is no different in this regard. His biggest current limitation is his lack of self-creation. The big man can struggle with generating offense for himself. It's to the point that he's almost completely reliant upon others to set him up. He occupies an off-ball role for a reason. He lives off of kickouts and reads made from the ball handlers out on the perimeter and dump-offs and entry passes to get to him near the rim. His game revolves so much around his ability to space the floor that it's not unreasonable to assume that if his three ball isn't falling, then his effectiveness is severely limited. But I'm not quite sure I subscribe to that belief. His role with the Ignite, which is clearly defined, just didn't require him to create. He provides screens, he rolls to the rim, and he shoots threes. He can attack closeouts off the dribble, which ties back to the gravity he generates on the perimeter. If he can add a dribble pull-up to his game, or perhaps even the ability to draw his defender out to the perimeter only to hit them with a sidestepping dribble upon a closeout, could go a long way. Overall, Tyler Smith would be a worthwhile prospect in my opinion. His game is simple, effective, and in vogue. He plays above the rim, moves well on and off ball, shows potential as a defender, and would fit exactly what the Cavaliers need out of a 4-5 man. He has stretch big written all over him. Can't wait to find out where he lands. Go Cavs!